It's 10 o'clock Nigeria time or 11 o'clock Nigeria time. Trying to journal my outlook for the week, for the second trading week of January 2026. Looking at the news events this week, we have CPI this week on Tuesday. On Monday, there's no news, and I don't think I'll be able to trade on Monday due to no trade idea for now. On Tuesday, if there's any trade idea on Tuesday, I have to wait till after CPI to execute it. Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays are tradable. This week, majors look kind of weird to me. I was bearish since we had this bearish context here with sweeping this high, this monthly high here, disrespecting this monthly gap here. Then I was expecting lower prices, but last week we did the opposite, and we just kept going higher. Seeing as there is a bearish gap here, I'll see what the market does in this gap. If it disrespects it, then maybe the monthly context has failed and we have to look for higher prices. But if it respects it, then we have to look for higher prices. Lower prices to sell. But the way this last week candle closed, this new week candle has a good chance of forming a favorable gap here, a bullish gap here, which I don't like. I will have to wait for disrespect again of that gap or something to know what to do. But for now, DXY and majors just look weird. And even if market fills this gap, we'll have to wait for it to disrespect this trapped order flow on the daily before looking for an entry. Then for USD is still the same. I don't have anything here. On the monthly is bullish. Also the same on the weekly, since we just completed this context here. But since DXY looks undecisive, I can't decisively trade USD. Gold on the other hand had a good weekly context last week that I did not check. That is weekly context and a daily context here too, disrespecting this gap here and creating this price leg to go up off of, to go higher off of. And it has completed that context already. If it creates a new context here, I will look to work with that for the week. Same as silver. USD same thing with DXY. It's a major, but the difference is in USD we disrespected the weekly gap there, giving us like an incentive to go higher. We can go higher off of this, maybe these daily gaps here, any of them. But I'm not going to be executing on this pair, I think. At least not like this. Not until dollar has a clean direction for me. Same thing with USD card. Though we did not disrespect the gap on USD card, we are still inside. Euro USD, basically the same thing. We had the weekly gap here. The market disrespected it. We had a monthly context going on here with this monthly pivot context here. We had this bullish idea last week, but market disrespected it, so I'm looking at what it will do this week. Though GU is stronger than EU, and since EU disrespected the gap there, EU did not have that gap there, and we have an SMT at the lows. GU failing to sweep this low here. Have an SMT at the lows here. And also we have trapped order flow on the daily at this high, at this favorable gap here. And we'll have to see either the market use that gap or disrespect it before actually engaging with price here. AUD USD and NZD USD is similar to EU and GU. Because on EU here we have this weekly contest we just completed and created this price leg, but we have no fair value gap in this price leg, so we have to use the low. And on NU we swept that low here. We did not sweep that low on AU, giving us an SMT. But on the daily we have trapped order flow with this daily gap here. So either market disrespect this gap or uses it before I will look for an entry on AU. AU and NU looking at the rest in my opinion too. Then on the indices, we just had this daily contest completed on ES. NQ and DAO has not completed it yet, but that is basically complete at this point. If Monday candle creates another gap there, I'll look to trade long off of it from Tuesday. Otherwise, nothing else here, because it's also a week where we are creating the third candle of the weekly gap, so anything can happen. I think that's all for the recaps. That's all for the outlook, since I don't really plan much on trading majors. My focus for this week is going to be indices and maybe AUD USD, which is less likely, to be honest, unless DXY does something straight. But that's all for the weekly outlook.